Oh, who shot you? This is truth behind the song. Who shot you? By Biggie. Biggie Smalls is the illest. Your style is played out like honor when they're what you talking about, Willis. Now, let's do it. And many times that we have seen and heard hip-hop artists in the days and past and working in the studio, things have not always, the finished product is not always how it started. We've seen people cut off songs, we've seen people add to songs, we've seen the whole beat change, we've seen one producer get fired, we've seen it all. So this was no difference. But we remember all the hoopla that came around this song when it came out because Tupac had gotten shot. And then when the song was released, people were like, hey, he dissing Pac. Now, if you're Pac and you're laying in a bed and the song is out, who shot you, by people who were there when you got shot, 9 times out of 10, you might think they had something to do with it. So I won't say he's paranoid for that. And they was like, Pac just being paranoid. This song was recorded way before then. But how's he supposed to know that? Even though it was and it had nothing to do with him, he didn't know that. You know, this is a man who just got shot. You know, and for people to call him paranoid, I was just like, wow, how's he paranoid about that? If that was a reason to be paranoid, he got shot. Wow. But anyway, that has nothing to do with the makings of this song. Now, this song was originally supposed to be Biggie Smalls, because this is for Mary J. Blige's song. It wasn't Biggie's song at all. This was a song they was recording for Mary J. So it was going to be Mary J. Blige, Keith Murray, and LL Cool J. And people like, what? LL Cool J? What does LL got to do with this? This is exactly how the song was going to be. And what they were doing was almost like what Mary used to do. She always had one street joint, and that's what Puff wanted to do, like keep everybody involved. Like when she did with Method Man and all that, he wanted to have a collaboration with his older artists and new artists that he wanted to work with. See, Puffy wasn't just a bad boy records, he was also a manager, and he wanted to manage LL Cool J and Keith Murray and Busta Rhymes and everybody else. He wanted to be their manager, even though they was with other record labels. So LL Cool J was in a transition at this time, and he was transitioning from firing all of his previous management before. So the only thing that he really had was, you know, he basically didn't have Quincy Jones. To a degree he did. He still worked with Quincy. Quincy loved him. And him and Kadada's relationship dissolved. And he was coming from a spiritual transition from the Buddhism that they were doing with Quincy Jones and all that stuff, and going back towards God and religion, and he went back and married his baby moms. So he was in a whole new space, and he's like, I'm not that LL Cool J no more. That LL Cool J is gone. I want to reinvent my career again, starting from this point on. So he sat down and had a conversation with Puffy. So Puffy was like, cool, I'm going to help you because you definitely is the staple. Like, you the ladies love Cool J. Everybody loves LL. So I could sell that. I always wanted to work with LL. That was Puff's whole thing. Like, we get LL in the mix. Oh, man, this is finna go on. So he was like, I'm going to put you on the joint with Biggie. So we got to get the young audience back. See, you gonna get the ladies. You got to get the young heads back. You got to get the hip-hop core. They think LL's a relic. You know, Mama Said Knock You Out, even though it's a couple years ago, that's like, they forgot about that. And the last album, you know, not the young heads didn't even feel that album. You know, they ain't ride with that. And he was like, I was going through a spiritual transformation at the time. I was getting back to the God, you know, on that album, because in the middle of that, I had lost my way, and I had to go back and, and get rebirthed, and I'm going through I was just going through so much at that time. I was feeling God pulling me to the light, and trying to guide me in the right direction on that album. So that's why it kind of went into a whole nother direction towards the end, and I went through a spiritual transformation, basically, and I came back to being myself. So the old LL was gone. That's why you saw him with the bald head for the first time, and he was wearing sun visors. It was no longer that I'm wearing a hat covering up. LL had changed. And he got married. He's a whole new guy. So they're working on this joint with Mary J. Blige. They said, well, we're going to do the Flavor in Your Ear remix. That was the first thing LL done first. So let's not go past that. LL did his part, and he wanted to do his part last. And he did. But when the song came out, it didn't come out that way. But this is what happened when you don't have control and it's not your project. So LL likes to go last, and he thought his verse would be the last thing heard on the album. Busta closed it out because Busta went off. And they were like, man, Busta did his part, he went off, so we got to put Busta at the end. We got to use him to cap the song off. So when LL went next to last, he still went and talked to Puff like, I thought I was going last. It was like, oh, you wasn't, but Busta came and got on there. So he explained, he's like, listen to the track. It would sound weird if we had Busta going off for this much, and then we just put you at the end. Everybody would forget what you said. He said, everybody's going to forget what I said now anyway, because they're going to be talking about what Busta did. You should have cut it. But he's like, that's okay. I'm going to let you do your thing. LL didn't want to, put his stamp in there or jump in there. He just wants to fit in. He wants to blend in and show that he's open for all of this. So Biggie comes up to him and was like, oh, LL, Lady Love, what's up, dude? Cool J. And he told him, I love pink cookies in a plastic bag. Biggie knew every word to pink cookies in a plastic bag. That was his jam. And it was from the album 14 Shots to the Dome that nobody really liked too much or played or said it wasn't like Mama Said Knock You Out. Biggie loved that joint. He's like, he liked Crossroads. He like, he loves songs from 14 Shots to the Dome. And that blew LL's mind. He was like, man, if you heard my album, I did on the Me and My Bitch. When it comes on, he uses LL's line to start the song. The act of making love is, and that's from Pink Cookies in a Plastic Bag. And he was just paying homage to that song because he loved it. It's like, man, you made me do that song. Big and LL and them relationship, they all vibe. The vibe was changed then. It's like respect was given. So LL was feeling real confident. So they was freestyling and working. They was like, all right, man, look, we finna work on this Mary J. Blige album. We gonna do a song with Mary J. And then they had the beat. And it would end up being what we know now is Who Shot You. And the name of the song wasn't Who Shot You. Big just started it off like that. Who shot ya? Boom. Laid his verse down. And then in the song, he's segueing it over to Mary, calling her the queen and all this stuff. So everything was about Mary. Keith Murray come in there and start blazing. So LL come there and he got his rhyme and everything ready to go. And once Big did his part, LL's on the outside of this, listening like, oh, I'm not following that. Puff's like, well, what you talking about? He's like, no, I'm not going after that. No, I would look ridiculous. No, As a matter of fact, I'll change the verse, and if I like the way it goes, I'll put it with the song, but that's a young bull in there. Yeah, he's going for it. Nah, oh no, this is setup. He's like, what? And so he told Keith Murray, you gonna follow that? And Murray's like, yeah, I'm going in there, I'm gonna blaze this. I ain't running from the booth. Ain't nobody gonna run me out the booth. He was like, alright, well, I'm out. So LL left and went to the crib. Keith Murray went in there and laced. Like, Murray went like forever, and man, and Big loved that. Like, yeah, alright, yeah, dude, going for it. Like, yeah, this gonna be a hot joint. And they decided the song was too hard. And they was like, what? Puff paid him. He's like, yeah, the song's too hard to be on Mary's album. So we gonna basically scrap the song, make it probably a B-side, just you and Big. Next thing you know, Keith Murray got cut off of the track because he didn't get managed by Puff. He didn't sign for Puff to be the manager. So they paid him for the track. And then if you look on the My Life album of Mary J. Blige, they got 22 seconds of the song on the interlude, the Keith Murray interlude. And it's only 22 seconds. And you hearing somebody, and it's just so hard because Murray was getting off on it. But what they did was they pulled the track, made it a song. And for Big went in there and redid it and toned it up and cut some songs out and changed some pieces that was linking over to Mary and just changed it up to make it a full song for Big. And there's no Keith Murray. And it wasn't that. And LL Cool J chose to let Puffy executive produce his album, not the album he came out with, but the Phenomenon album, because he couldn't afford to pay what Puffy was asking. It wasn't that Puffy charged a lot. It was just, at that time, LL couldn't afford to pay that and, do the things he was doing. He's like, for now, that'll be a bit of a stretch. So now I wouldn't be able to, to do that. That wouldn't make sense for me to, do that move right there. So what they did was come up with a way to let Puffy EP his Phenomenon out. And that was basically a Puff Daddy Hitman production. Now, in this transition that was going around, we all heard the Who Shot You thing, but on the internet, thanks to YouTube, you get to hear the version with Keith Murray and Biggie, the original version they recorded. It's all on YouTube now. But what that song would have been had LL Cool J joined on and got on board. I think that would have been an epic performance, because L would have had to come with it. And basically, since that time on, it's been like, since they did the Monstar song together for Space Jam, then that grew into the LL, Method Man, Redman, which was really gonna be Keith Murray, LL, and Biggie. That. And then they were gonna put Buster in there. It would have been a very interesting time for the East Coast if they could have really gotten that going. But with Big passing and they going in another direction with management and all this stuff, we got to see it play out. But Murray versus, woo! You get a chance, go listen to it. Check it out. It's your boy Carcino. I'm out.